we are now. Today is the day. What I want to talk about is why physical media is so important and why I still love physical media. I've seen a lot of people's videos on physical media and their importance of physical media, about why physical media matters and why physical media is very important and why streaming is dying in quality. I know that people are moving on and are just stopped watching physical media and are just watching digital media and streaming. Well, let me tell you that streaming has a lot of problems, and streaming recently has been dying in quality. Physical media is more important now than ever, and physical media has a lot of things that streaming doesn't have. And let me tell you about that. Well, before we had streaming, we had video stores. Video stores were by far one of the best, nostalgic, but yet one of the most important things to ever happen. Like, we got Blockbuster, Hollywood Video, and we also had toy stores like Toys R Us back then, where Toys R Us used to have these DVDs that they would have. And of course, we also have thrift stores like Goodwill. Goodwill would sometimes have some of these lucky movies that we may recognize, some in alright condition and some in not so good condition. But hey, they would sell movies for a decentable price, either for $2 for a DVD or probably $6 or $10 or something like that for Blu-ray. Of course, we would go to other stores that are selling physical media like Best Buy, Target, and occasionally sometimes Walmart. But anyways, yeah, Best Buy and Target were probably the few choices to ever buy physical media, but mainly I would just shop on Best Buy and would find a movie for me to watch. And I remember that when I went to Best Buy with my dad, and we would find some movies, and I remember I found some really cool classic movies like Beetlejuice and The Nightmare Before Christmas, and some of the DC animated films, some anime, and so many others. Those were really good. But now, I guess Best Buy selling physical media is over, and as you all know, Best Buy is no longer going to be selling any more Blu-rays, both in person and online. Which, that kind of makes me feel pretty sad, and it's also kind of make me wondering about what is going to happen to physical media. Although, there are going to be some stores that are going to continue to sell physical media, like Barnes & Nobles and Target. But Target has a few little DVDs and Blu-rays, and there's not really that much Blu-rays or DVDs from what I could find from Target anyway. Now we got digital media on the other hand, or streaming services, of course. Streaming, while I will admit that there were some fun moments with streaming has been dying down in quality. Streaming services often would remove content either for licensing issues or budgetary issues. People tend to forget about licensing issues. There are going to be some moments where streaming services, like for example with Disney, with the Spectacular Spider-Man and Spider-Man the New Animated Series on Disney Plus, they would later remove Spectacular Spider-Man and Spider-Man the New Animated Series from Disney Plus, due to obviously licensing issues, because those shows were owned by Sony. They were not owned by Disney or anything like that. They were owned by Sony, and Sony has the rights to those shows. So luckily for me, since Spectacular Spider-Man and Spider-Man the New Animated Series is no longer on Disney Plus, I have the entirety of the series on DVD and Blu-ray, and I could just watch them without paying for a subscription or just watching them without digitally. And there's also a bit of laziness when it comes to streaming services. And with licensing issues, of course, there's also some deal contracts that could not be renewed anymore. Like for example with Netflix, after Hasbro bought Power Rangers and Saban no longer in the picture, they decided to remove Power Rangers content from streaming services. They decided to remove Power Rangers content from Netflix, and therefore Power Rangers fans would have to try to find a way to watch these from somewhere other than other streaming services, though there were no other streaming services that were in talks with Hasbro for Power Rangers. Fans, including myself, would find some of our favorite seasons of Power Rangers on DVD. Like, for example, I got Power Rangers Jungle Fury on DVD, Power Rangers SPD on DVD, and of course I would also have Power Rangers Dino Thunder on Power Rangers Time Force and Power Rangers Ninja Storm on DVD. Most of my favorite seasons and childhood classic seasons that I've watched as a kid for Power Rangers, all of them here on DVD. And since I don't have to find them anywhere on streaming or anywhere, I could just find them on physical media here. There are also moments where streaming services have to remove content for budgetary reasons. Like, for example, with Disney. Disney had to remove a lot of their content from Disney Plus. Not all of them, of course, but they had to remove some content from Disney Plus for budgetary reasons. And as we all know, Disney had several box office bombs this year, and Disney Plus also lost a lot of subscribers. So it goes with the same with Hulu, and of course with HBO Max, or now is it called Max, but I'm gonna call it HBO Max for now, cause it's easier. When it comes to physical media, you have the ownership of it, and it doesn't go away. You got the ownership of the movie or a series that you basically own, and it could not be removed from any streaming content because it's physical media. It's not on digital. You can own this movie and you can just watch this movie over and over again. You can just pick up a DVD or a Blu-ray or whatever, and you can just watch these movies or shows over and over again, and you can just have a fun time watching it. And basically, yeah, it cannot be removed, and you have the ownership of it because you bought these with your own money. There are also some other certain types of movies and TV shows that aren't on streaming. Like, for example, Dogma. Dogma is by far, if not one of the most rarest Kevin Smith movies to ever been directed. I've mentioned this before already. To this day, you could not find the movie on streaming. It is not on streaming, and it is not on Blu-ray or DVD anymore. And even if you find the movie on Blu-ray or DVD, it could cost a little bit pricey. And yeah, some other movies that are really hard to find on streaming, like for example with Cowboy Bebop the movie. While yes, the movie is free now on Tubi, though it could get removed eventually, of course, because of licensing issues, probably. And to this day, you could not find the movie anywhere on streaming. You could not find the movie anywhere online, and the only way that you can watch the movie is either on Blu-ray or DVD, and Blu-ray is sort of out of print, but I found this for about $41, which is a good price, and I was like, what a steal. So with some certain TV shows as well, like for example with the Berserk 1997 series. To this day, you cannot watch the series anywhere on streaming. It is not on Crunchyroll, it's not on High Dive, it's not on Hulu, it's not on Amazon, it is nowhere near to be found, and the only way that you can watch Berserk is the 2016 version that is available on streaming services, but not the 1997 version. Though there has been some episodes that were leaked on YouTube, though they might be taken down because of obvious reasons. People are having a hard time to try to find where to watch it, and the only way that you could try to watch it is on DVD. Examples I could find: The Big O, and of course, Shaman King. The original one from 2001, not the remake from 2021. From what I could find online, these shows that I have here are nowhere to be found on streaming, nor on digital. And the only way that you can find these are on Blu-ray. You find something in a store like a book, comic book, manga, or occasionally at times video games. And here are the video games that I basically love owning, like Dragon Ball FighterZ and the Ratchet & Clank 2016 PS4 Reimagined, and of course the Insomniac Spider-Man game on the PlayStation 4, the Resident Evil 2 remake, Tekken 7, and Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. Or whether you find some certain TV shows that you love watching over and over and over again, it would feel awesome to have them in your hands, because you got them in your hands, and you can just watch them over and over again without any problems. Streaming wouldn't take that away because you own these things. You own all these things. Streaming services and digital services would often take them away, like Movies Anywhere, Netflix, Disney Plus, Max, and Hulu, and Amazon Prime, and so many others. All those can take those digital things away. But when you got these things in your hand, you have them. And there are some people that that decided not to buy any physical medias because they said physical media could often take space. Although there are some furniture, like there's shelves and some tables and some other things that you can find to put for these shelves over here on the background. Make sure you organize them. Make sure you try to organize them really, really well. It's not that hard to get organizing with some Blu-rays and DVDs. And what's so wrong about basically trying to take a DVD or Blu-ray case and trying to put it on your DVD or Blu-ray player. It's not that hard at all, because you can basically just watch them over and over again. You can also watch some bonus feature extras, since I really like bonus feature extras, and they are really cool. And even though that there are some streaming services that do have them, not all of them have them, but there are some interesting bonus extras that are pretty interesting to watch. Whenever you are on streaming, all you can see is basically just these posters of movies or TV shows that you all see, but yet you're not curious to see it because you feel getting bored. You just keep using the remote over and over to find whatever movie or show that you're trying to look for, and it doesn't really look interesting. With stores, however, they are pretty much interesting. You go into a store and you find some really cool stuff. You find some really cool movies or shows on Blu-ray or DVD, and you basically wander around seeing, hey, maybe this looks interesting, and you probably read the back, or you probably try to Google it on your phone, which that's what I did for most of my time whenever I go to Best Buy, or whenever I go to any other video stores that I could find. I remember often going to video stores like Blockbuster, Hollywood Video, and Movie Madness, and Best Buy, Target, Walmart. I find a movie or a TV show that I really like watching. I find some of the Blu-rays and DVDs that I am familiar with and some that I'm not so familiar with. I remember going to the store. I remember looking at the shelves, looking at these films, looking at some awesome random movies that I would often find in the position of my hand, and just reading them in the back and thinking, wow, these movies look really interesting. And I remember I had a fun time looking at these movies. But now, people are relying a bit more on streaming services. Those streaming services are often not really doing very well so far. And streaming services are dying in quality. I even remember looking on the Blu-ray shelves in Walmart and even finding some anime like Attack on Titan. And I remember that I wanted to get Attack on Titan on Blu-ray at some point, but I was pretty busy with some other things. But that wasn't until when I recently got Attack on Titan on Blu-ray. And I remember I was very happy that I own the series on Blu-ray. Only half of it, not all of it, of course. But yeah. And oftentimes, whenever I was in some stores that were selling Blu-rays or DVDs like Best Buy or Walmart, or sometimes occasionally Target, and most of the time Movie Madness and the Konoki store, the anime store that is nearby my my school, I would look up anime, and whenever I find these anime Blu-rays and DVDs, I was like, wow, look at these look awesome. Some of these look really interesting. And I remember that I would often buy whatever anime that I could find on Blu-ray. I even remember one time in Target and in Best Buy that I would find My Hero Academia on Blu-ray. I even wanted to own the series on Blu-ray at some point, but sadly I never even got the chance, and I didn't even have the money back then. Those were fun, but not anymore, because people are relying more on streaming now, though streaming itself is dying in quality. And I have seen that not a lot of people are subscribe to streaming anymore, either because they canceled their streaming services or because they think it's probably not worth it. I mean, look at the streaming service content that all these people are canceling, like Netflix, Disney Plus, Max, Hulu, and Amazon Prime, and so many other streaming services. Plus, there's a lot of stuff with physical media that is not the same as streaming. For instance, physical media has some really great bonus content showing you behind the scenes of how they made the films. I remember as a kid when I popped up some DVDs onto my DVD player, and I remember watching some behind the scenes of some of the movies that I love watching, and I remember seeing those, and I was like, wow, look how they made this. This is very exciting. And I remember that I was very inspired, and that's what got me into filmmaking. That's what even encouraged me to do filmmaking. I, as a movie buff myself, think that these physical media is like an art portfolio for filmmakers, and also is inspiring me to do more filmmaking. And basically, yeah. I mean, look at all these movies that you've seen on the background. Again, physical media is like an art portfolio, and it's like a library for films and your favorite shows and anime. And all this is just absolutely wonderful. They have some things that are very valuable for research if you're into film classes, and they have something very valuable for knowledge. Well, and they also have something very, very interesting features that you basically just love watching over and over again, like I did when I was a kid. With streaming, however, while they do have some bonus content sometimes, it's not the same. Because when you look at it, you know that it's just dull. It looks very boring. It doesn't look interesting at all. And I don't think it's that quite valuable for research. Now, if you love watching movies on digital, I guess that's fine for you. But movies here on physical media, they're a lot more important than how you think that they are. I mean, physical media, you buy a movie or a show on physical media, and you basically own that movie or TV show on physical media, and you basically just love watching it and enjoying it over and over again. And they also have some really interesting bonus content that is pretty interesting. But nowadays, people are relying a bit more on streaming, and yeah, though streaming itself is also dying in quality, and a lot of people have been unsubscribing to streaming services. And it just seems that people think that we don't need physical media anymore. But we actually do, because I love supporting physical media. I'm a huge movie guy. I'm an aspiring filmmaker. I'm currently working on some films right now, and I love collecting all of my favorite movies and TV shows over here. I love collecting some of my favorite movies and some movies that people really love, and my favorite TV shows or TV shows that people really love on physical media. And I also really like collecting anime, and I also really like collecting video games as well. And I love playing some of these video games as well. And I just like collecting physical games in general, especially some old games on PlayStation 2. And of course, let's not forget, one of my favorite gaming systems back when I was a kid, when I used to play a lot, the Nintendo GameCube. But there may be hope for physical media. There may be hope. But I do hope that physical media will always live on. But physical media will live on. I do hope that it will live on. And I do hope that people will collect more and more movies and TV shows on physical media. And basically, yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I wanted to give you guys a few updates on some videos and some films that I've been working on as of recent. So I'm currently working on a Raditz fan film, on a Dragon Ball fan film, mainly with Raditz, since Raditz is by far, if not one of my favorite characters, and I really wanted to give the more interesting insight at the character, and wanted to show something that I really wish that we could have gotten more time with the character. And pretty much, yeah. I'm almost done with the Cowboy Bebop fan film as well, and it will be released, hopefully around sometime February, but I can't be certain yet because there are still some things that I need to finish with the final touches for the editing. But yeah, I will keep you guys posted as soon as I can. And I will hope to release a new trailer for sometime around next month. And I'm also still in development for the Kill la Kill fan film and for some other fan film series that I have in mind that is coming up pretty soon. I will keep you guys posted in some future videos. And the underrated film reviews on the Namesake, that is still coming. Right now it's in development, and I'm not starting the editing yet until sometime around next week, depending on my schedule. But yeah, there's some other things that I do have to do, and I'm sorry for not uploading too soon than I thought. But yeah, I'm going to be taking more of my time to edit these videos and making sure that these videos are okay and that they are good to be uploaded and not rushing them. And yeah, I'm going to take my time. Anyways, yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video, and yeah.